Hello and welcome to our channel. I'm Danielle
And I'm Stephanie.
and together we clean homes for free.
Ooh.
That didn't sound very enthusiastic. I'm so sorry.
It reminds me of do you know those old shows you used to watch on the BBC and CITV and stuff? And you get the Bodger and Badger and stuff like that.
Okay,
It just makes me think of that kind of thing. Anyway, in today's video is Danielle cleaning a bedroom. So this is a house that we have been doing for a couple of weeks now. It has, I want to say, been our most challenging job yet, but we'll get into the reasons why probably in the next video because it's not really relevant to this room in particular.
Yeah.
This was our second visit to the property. I've kind of edited the footage out of order, but we've probably started with the least satisfying one and we'll work up to the most satisfying possibly. But the actual transformation in this one is so satisfying. There's just not as much cleaning. It's more clearing and organising and tidying. But you will get some snippets of Danielle dancing. So there's that.
And if you want to watch us slowly release more satisfying videos on this clean, subscribe, like, comment and follow along.
Oh yeah, so somebody said to us that it is better to tell everybody to subscribe and comment at the beginning of the video because you guys all have short attention spans and click off before we get to our spiel. So yes, if you do like this kind of content where we clean houses that are in bad condition for free and we talk about the resident's story and we also just talk rubbish, then please do subscribe and comment and like the video because that lets YouTube know that people like it and then they push it out more. If you don't particularly like the talking, just mute us. That's okay. Your cleaning is still there. Put on your favourite song and listen or clean alongside us. We also do have 3 membership levels. We have the Haggis Hunters. Oh wait, I'm going to let Danielle do this because she's been practicing.
We have the Haggis Hunters. We have the hashtag Team Fife. Is it hashtag Team Fife?
Yes.
And we have the honorary Fifers.
But you got those mixed up.
Oh well.
And how much are they and what do they get for their money?
$1.99. And that's all I remember. But I know
Okay,
every single level is less than a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So if you like your Costa, you like your Starbucks, do you mind give it up once a week? Help.
It's not even once a week.
Help the community, help some others, spread on that kindness, pay it forward. We pay it forward, so come and join us for the ride.
So yeah, it's Haggis Hunters for 99p, honorary Fifers for £1.99, and hashtag Team Fife for £2.99. And each of those levels gets you something different, but you get priority replies to comments, you get additional videos, you get live streams when we eventually do it.
She's lying. We don't really give it much to our members, and we really do apologise for that numerous times through a lot of videos, but we will get there one day when we have a lot more time to give to this.
Yeah, 100%. And like Danielle says, £2.99, that's not even the price of a coffee, and that supports the channel. You know, we've been spending a lot more on these houses. As you'll see later on in this video, we buy bedding and mattress toppers and, you know, pay for the rubbish removal. This house so far has needed 2 rubbish removals, might need a 3rd, we're not sure yet. But yeah, so Danielle, tell me, what is your favourite part of this clean?
The end result.
You can't always say that.
Putting that mattress top. Do you know what? This was the second visit, so at the end of the first visit, I forgot that he discussed with us his sleeping arrangements, and so he has a sleeping bag on his sofa, and he was sleeping with an old pillow, and it was obviously wrapped in a t-shirt or something because he's obviously not been able to find a pillowcase. Probably not that he wasn't being able to find a pillowcase because he had bed in there that was bought and ready. He's obviously trying to be right, okay, I've got this stuff for when I finally get round to it, and it's just that getting round to it. But anyway, so I noticed that and I was like, oh my god, I never even thought about that. And then so my aim for the next visit, I was like, I want to sort out his bedroom. I want to get him sleeping in his own bed. I want to get him in fresh sheets. I want to get him a new mattress topper. I just want to make a nice environment for him to go and lay his head down at night. So being able to do that was my favourite part.
Yeah, because you were quite emotional about this.
Yeah.
Because we didn't notice the sleeping bag and the pillow until basically the end of our previous visit. And so having to leave there knowing that he was still going to have to sleep on the sofa that night and for the rest of that week was
upsetting. Because my favourite part is any day getting in my bed.
Yeah.
Going to sleep, especially the feeling you get when you've just changed your sheets and everything's all fresh and you jump into bed. You can't beat that.
Mm-hmm. So one thing that we didn't bring on this day was a duvet because we mistakenly seen something that we mistakenly took to be a brand new duvet and it wasn't. So when we go back, because we are going back to this house, we're not done with it yet. Sorry, I'm just gonna mute that.
Obviously, can't be a video with that phone going off.
I'm not. The funny thing is, I'm not even.
Mine is muted.
I'm not even popular. I'm just in a really popular book group. Like everybody else chats very loads. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I can't keep up with this chat. There's like 300 messages today. But yeah, so the next time we go back to this house, which we will be doing, we will be taking a duvet with us, a brand new one. So, he will get an even better night's sleep, hopefully. Would you like to share what your worst thing about this clean was?
Thinking I was getting close to clearing things and finding another corner that needed cleared. Or I was like, right, next time we come, I'll lift the bed up. And then when I was sweeping and hoovering, more stuff was coming out and I'm like, this bed, because I thought it was only just going to be a couple of things because it's one of those divan beds that's not got space underneath it. Do you mean it just goes straight to the floor? But I was like, no, there's going to be loads of stuff underneath this. So I lifted it up and there was.
I was so impressed that you tackled this wardrobe. Sorry, that's my dog. I was so impressed that you tackled this wardrobe after your last wardrobe experience.
That's what I was thinking while I was doing it. And I was like, you know what, it's not going to be that bad. It's not. And a lot of it was clothes and a lot of them had already been bagged, but the bags were ripped open as if he's tried to get to them. So I just kind of rebagged them for him. Yeah, there's a lot that I wish we could do. I wish we could take all the dirty washing, clean it. Do you mean dry it all, fold it, put it away? I wish we could do total house transformations. But
yeah, one day though.
Yeah, no.
Because somebody suggested, why don't you team up with a local laundromat business? Mm-hmm. And there's one right next to our office, so we could speak to them, but we just can't do it right now. But and eventually,
financially and time restraints on us just now stop us from doing as much as we want to do. But I would honestly love to just be right, okay, we're doing all of this for you. Yeah. It's all going to be fantastic. You're going to come in. It's going to be 60-minute makeover.
Yeah. After we've done these houses, how did they do that in 60 minutes? Because they have a whole
team.
Yeah, but
teams of people. If we had a team of people and someone's tackling the wardrobe while someone's doing under the bed, that'd be done in no time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, one day we need a TV show.
Yeah.
That's what we need. That'll get us the funding and the team, and we'll just go in and be like, okay, go and stay in this B&B for the night. It's all paid for by the TV show people, and we will transform your life.
Yeah.
One day. What else did I want to ask
Kim and
you?
Aggie. Have you watched any yet?
No, I've still not watched Kim and Aggie.
Steph and Danny, the new Kim and Aggie.
Do you know what I've actually been really obsessed over watching recently? And I think I mentioned this in the live, right? I've been watching people, I think they're mostly from Vietnam, living in the mountains and in the forest, and they're building houses and farms, and they're just using their own hands. And so I watched this one video yesterday. It was 6 hours long, but I watched it on 2 times speed throughout the day, not all at once. And it was this guy, and it was a time lapse of 3 years when he basically built this whole farm, and he had pigs and chickens and dogs, and everything was built with his bare hands. It was amazing. He even then upgraded his house and built a full wooden house and made a wooden pulley and everything. It was so cool. And I was like, oh, if the world ever ends Beth predicts, then we need well, not just that, we just need to go to Vietnam, because bamboo is so versatile. You can build houses, you can And like the climate over there and stuff is great for growing things. So we just need to go there and find all these people that are like building everything with their bare hands. That's the plan.
So does
We'll
Beth actually predict the world's going to end?
No, she's waiting for the zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
But I was just
she's not like doomsday prepper seriousness about this, or is she?
It's hard to tell. I think it's a running joke.
So I really want to meet like a doomsday prepper and be like, right, okay, so what is the basics that I would need?
She could probably tell you that, yeah.
I know I'd probably need like a certain kind of radio, maybe some like wind up flashlights, maybe like at least 3 days worth of like food.
You're not surviving very long.
No, I'm not. Give me a weapon, I'll help fight off those zombies. But like the survival techniques, I could probably kill a rabbit and
so I think
skin it if I needed to, but I really wouldn't want to. I'd cry while I done it.
Yeah. We should move to like a remote Scottish island. Would be safe there.
Yeah, because all you'd have to do is get rid of the zombies once.
Yeah. Unless they can
and live
swim.
off the land.
But hopefully they can't. But yeah, that's the plan. We'll just read survival guides.
What
and
if
like
zombies could swim?
when we get
That's scary thought. That is it. Just eat me.
They'll just walk along the ocean floor because like they don't need to breathe.
Like that scene at the Pirates of the Caribbean.
I've not seen that scene.
What? You've not seen the franchise? Have you seen some of the movies?
I've seen most, if not all, of the first movie.
But that's
and then and then maybe parts of the other movies, but no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I want to do a marathon.
I've got a jar of dirt.
Like I've seen clips of Johnny Depp and stuff. Like, isn't there a scene? It's like, why is it called tiptoes and fingertips or something like that? I don't know it. It's gonna annoy me. It's so funny as well. Anyway, moving on. The floor underneath the rubbish in this room was actually pretty good, but you think that the mess started in this room.
So
I think I disagree.
I'm not. Yeah, the more I got into it, the more I'm not sure about that. And then I kept finding like Christmas stuff, and I'm like, must have just happened around Christmas. And then I realised how close we were to Christmas, and I'm like, no, this has been either cycle of a problem for him that he's just not been able to get out of this time.
So in saying that, do you want to say a little of his story?
So
but we don't actually know his actual story. He hasn't shared much with us yet.
We know that there's obviously mental health issues, and we know that he's became really overwhelmed. My brain just went blank. That's all my brain wanted to really remember for that.
Yeah, Danielle is having a bit of an off day into like her social battery is drained. She's had a very busy week. Okay, so when he first contacted us months ago, like November time, and he asked for help. And in his original message, he says, "My house is worse than any of the worst houses you've done." Okay, but when we followed up, he didn't send the photos and like he didn't follow up, so we could never actually book him in. And at the time when he sent the first message, he already told us he was sleeping on the sofa, and like his mental health was at an all-time low and all of this, but he just never, like, he ghosted the conversation. And then he reached back out in February, and I'm not sure what prompted it, but I think he needs a gas check in the house. He has no hot water, and the landlord has been trying to get somebody in. And I think he eventually, after like putting it off, he admitted to the landlord just how bad things were. But he must have said at the same time, "But I'm getting help from Fife Free Cleaning," because he then reached back out to us and says, "Look, I did reach out to you, but I panicked when you asked for the photos," which we only ask for photos so we can gauge the scale of the work. And by the way, I don't even know why I do that, because I am so bad at gauging the scale of the work. I seen this house and I was like, oh yeah, this is a moderate house. This was the one that I asked all of you guys to give us challenges. But see, when we got there, we were like, no, we couldn't do challenges.
This is the challenge.
Yeah, this is the challenge, yeah. But anyway, so I was like terrible at guessing how challenging it'll be.
It's not gonna be that bad. I'm looking at the photos like, but no, I think it's pretty bad.
Yeah, so I'm not good at that. So we're just gonna go with Danielle's evaluation from now on. But anyway, he said it was worse than any house we've done. I don't think the actual amount of work is worse. So I think...
I think it's taken us longer and we're doing quite a few visits, probably more than we would give to most. I think the reason we're doing that, though, is because his landlord's also reached out to us. And we really don't want him to end up in a position where he's going to lose his home over this.
Yeah.
We really want it to get to a standard where the landlord's going to be like, right, okay, that's fine, you can still stay here. Not that we think she ever would, because she seems like she's been very supportive.
Well, so I never actually got to that bit of the story. So he reached out, and then the landlord reached out like this later that same day, asking us if he had reached out. So I think she was, fact checking that he had actually...
Yeah. But I also
asked
think
for
it's
help.
like curiosity, and if she's helping, it could be anyway. You really don't get tone over messages.
Yeah, so she did say, she's just really worried about him. She wants to do everything she can.
Yeah.
She asked us for photos, and we were like, no, sorry, that breaks our confidentiality rule. You'll have to ask him for the photos directly. My only concern, and I hope she is just like a really lovely, concerned landlord. And I get it, like this is her house and it has in some ways been destroyed. And so I do get it, like she's well entitled, but I really hope that we don't go in and clean this all up and then she kicks them out. That's my biggest worry. So we kind of have said to him, we've done the 2 visits and we've said, you need to get her in to get the hot water on so that we can like get the dishes washed and really like sanitize everything and do the deeper cleaning. And then also the toilet is broken, but we'll get into that story when we show you the bathroom video. But yeah, so I've kind of said, try and get her in and get those things fixed before we come back and finish the job. And at least that way we know she'll at least wait until we finish the job before taking any hasty actions. Because, we are doing it for free. She wouldn't want to kick him out and then have to pay to get it all fixed herself.
I think as well, if we could get... No, he's got support of his landlord. We've came in and... I think most people just need a good support network. And he looks like he has one from what we've seen in the house. Like, a lot of photos. He looks like a very happy person. It could be a mask, but...
I think it is.
But he's been to a lot of, like, comedies and holidays, and he's met famous people, and... Yeah. Sometimes people just end up... We don't know what he's went through, but he could have went through something and he's just ended up in a hole.
So we have made a couple... we have made a couple of assumptions. So this is some stuff that we think has happened based on what we found in the house. So you've just seen Danielle clearing a whole box of alcohol
10
bottles.
green bottles sitting on
She was singing that and I could have killed her. Like when we were cleaning, she was actually singing that song. I was like, no. But yeah, so she just cleared a lot of alcohol bottles. So we think, it maybe started with some alcohol abuse. But also you were thinking there's been a bereavement.
I think there's maybe been a bereavement in family. I was finding a lot of like photos, photo frames, and just like stuff that you think that maybe if you went and cleared out a family member's house or stuff was given to you when someone passes. I don't know.
And at one point, Danielle seen a photo of the gentleman and a woman, and she really was like, oh my God, this looks like my such and such relative. But the photo was older, and we were like, I wonder if that's him when he was younger, and I wonder if that is your relative, but we had no way of knowing.
So this relative, she passed away 2 years ago as well, and I kept looking at it like, oh my God, and I showed Steph, I was like, look, this is a recent Facebook photo, and this is a photo of her, and even Steph was like, yeah, there's similarities, but obviously there was maybe like a 20-year age difference in the pair of them. It was really quite...
But maybe that's the bereavement he went through 2 years ago. We just don't know.
Never know.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Since that relative... Well, I say relative, but it's one of those ones that isn't actually blood relative, but you call relative, if you want to say that. Anyway...
Like you would be an auntie to my children.
Yeah, so that's kind of like what it is for me. She's like an auntie, but she wasn't ever my auntie. But since then, it's like I've seen a couple of people that, honestly, it could be doppelganger. And then that is like, I keep saying stuff and I'm like, this is getting strange now.
Maybe she just has one of those faces, eh?
I'm thinking maybe it's just a sign from beyond, and do you know what I mean, she's sometimes popping up to be like, I'm still watching you, you better behave.
Well, I think you're more than behaving. Saint Danielle saving dogs and cleaning houses for free. Saving my life.
Well, yeah.
I think one of the little dance modes is coming up soon. As I put the speed back down to 1 on the occasions when Danielle is dancing, it was quite cool. There was an Alexa in every room of this house, so we were partying while we were cleaning.
And you said to Alexa, play everywhere, and it linked them all together. I didn't know you could do that.
I wonder if you've just set anybody's Alexa off.
Alexa, play everywhere. We'd have to tell it what to play.
No, it would just play the last thing played, surely.
Mine doesn't do that. Anyways, I didn't know you could do that with Alexas, and I was like, that's very cool. I need to buy a couple of more Alexas and set them all up.
So I had to cut the footage when you were cleaning behind that chair because we couldn't see anything. So
I did think that, to be honest, but I was done moving it that much at this point.
Trigger warning lights for anybody that's epileptic. Although, did you know that only 3% of people with epilepsy have the photosensitivity kind that's triggered by those kinds of lights?
Do you remember at that point I held that star up to you and went, Steph, you're a star.
Oh, yeah. Which just makes me think of the movie Wish, but I don't know if that was your point or not.
No, it wasn't. I never even thought
it was
about
the
that.
way you said it. Have you seen the movie Wish?
Yeah.
Okay, so like I don't remember much about movies, but Disney movies on the other hand. Anyway, that's one of my favourites right now because I just love the soundtrack so much. And obviously there's that song like You're a Star and the little goat who has the super deep voice. Yeah. That's what you reminded me of when you did that. I thought it was intentional.
It wasn't. I never even thought about that.
Oh, here's the little boogie. So, what song were you dancing to?
I have no idea. You do. You edited the footage.
Well, this dance, you were dancing to, oh my god, what's it called? It's a Dido, Thank You by Dido.
Thank you.
No.
How does it go?
Do you know that Eminem song? Days gone cold, I'm wondering why. Yeah, that one. Yeah, so that's Thank You. Is it called Thank You? Now I'm questioning if it is. We might get copyrighted if you keep singing. That's why I had to mute the original audio.
Reminds me of cleaning the houses, Fife free cleaning.
Yeah.
What's
and
this
then
one? Is it the same one?
No, this is a different one, and I cannot remember what it's actually called or how it goes. But you dance for a lot longer in this one.
I danced for the whole song in this one. I just can't remember what the song was.
Oh, well, I can't remember. It was a more upbeat, like, fancy song.
Shake it, girl.
But what we've not actually told you guys yet is on this day, Danielle has hypermobility, and I think we've mentioned before there was a house we were cleaning and her knee popped out of place when we were lifting an armchair. Well, on this day, her knee is also basically out of place. So Am was watching this footage and watching her bending down so much and watching her dancing, and I'm just like, your knee, what are you doing, woman? Stop bloody bending.
It's not actually like properly dislocated here yet. That happened like 2 days later. But it was not sitting where it should be, and when I got home, you could visibly see the swelling from my knee down to my ankle and my leg.
It was so bad.
But I was just like, just keep going, just keep carrying on, and it wasn't.
Sorry, I must have sped it up too soon.
Is that when I was singing to the?
Oh yeah, you're still dancing.
Yeah. What was I saying?
It was very swollen and out of place.
So it wasn't until I stopped doing and I got home and I was like, right, okay, that's me done. I was like, yeah, this is really, really sore.
Yeah.
So if I just power through it, I'm all right.
That's what I'm like as well. But obviously my knees don't pop out of place. I just get knee pain. And I need to get like pads for my knees, knee pads. I spent a lot of time on my knees in this house. But even then I still wasn't bending as much as you. Honestly, I was like cringing editing this footage. Like, oh my God. I think because it was still fresh. Yeah, it was still fresh in my mind as well. I was like, I know what's happening here. But we started keeping like pain relief in the car for when we're on these cleans. Because usually by the time we stop for lunch, we're like, okay, we need to take some painkillers now. Mm-hmm. So is that not a duvet on the bed?
No, it's a mattress topper.
Right,
That's why I wanted to buy a new mattress topper, because I had already previously seen that.
Okay.
I was like, right, okay. So the mattress isn't in good condition, which we have stated before in previous houses. The mattresses are becoming a bit of an issue. We're maybe going to try and reach out to somewhere locally or some big company or something to see if, do you know what I mean, it's maybe an option they can help us. But I thought if we could at least get them a fresh new mattress topper, that would help with the whole sleeping arrangement.
Yeah, and the bed looks so much better by the time you
Yeah.
finish. The whole room does. I will just warn you is when she lifts up the bed, the lighting is really poor because there wasn't actually a light in this room. There's a lamp in the corner, but when the bed gets lifted, it blocks the window a little bit, so it is a little bit dark. Also, we had a Hoover incident in this video, but right, so we lost a part of the Hoover, and Danielle thought she bagged it up or put it with the dishes. But when I was watching the footage, you leave the room with the Hoover attachment. You leave the room and you go and put it somewhere. So I have hope that we're going to find it.
So it could be in the trolley?
It could be in the trolley.
Oh no, we never had the trolley.
But it could be in one of the bags. It could. I think we have it.
Okay.
Because you'll see yourself.
Yeah.
You leave
I
the
forgot
room
about that, to be
holding it
honest.
before, because you were thinking that you lost it when you did under the bed.
Yeah.
But actually, you stop using it well before you even get to under the bed.
Okay.
I think you stop using it after you do the top of the mattress, and then you leave the room with it. And I was trying, when I was looking at the footage in the other room, I was trying to see if I could see it, but I couldn't see it. But anyway, that was a whole thing. We was looking for ages for this bit of Hoover. Danielle was ready to go through the rubbish bags. I was like, nope, I am not doing that.
Partly went through a rubbish bag and then I was like, no, I can't. The smell that came out, I was like, no, it's more compact now.
Yeah. So, as well, we did manage to save a lot of the belongings out of this room.
Yes. I tried my best to kind of go through what I could go through and be like, right, okay, that is savable. And I saved a lot of stuff.
Which is good, because unfortunately, this is one of those houses, in every other room basically, we've not really been able to save much of anything due to contamination. And like I say, we're going to get into more detail in other videos, because there probably will be at least 3 videos.
So come back for more.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a multi-parter. We did think, we can speed the video up more and cut more bits out so that we could fit it into less videos for you guys, because I know you prefer to see like whole house transformations, but our kind of style is we pretty much show you everything. There's a wee bits that we don't show you that we either didn't catch on camera or the camera dies or things like that, but generally, first of all, it's easier for me in the editing to just basically keep everything in. But also every channel does things a little bit differently. So it was really satisfying watching you do that in slow motion. That wasn't even me editing the timing either. You literally just did it so slow.
Really, really slow to try and just pick up as much as the Hoover would possibly want to pick up. The first bit I did, I actually didn't have the Hoover on.
Yeah, you
I
were
was just kind of scraping it to gather all the excess bits that were on the mattress.
So this is the point where you've took it off the Hoover.
Yeah.
And I really didn't even look to see what else you did in this. I was literally I had my eyes on that the whole time I was editing. Where does it go? We will find it. Don't worry. Also, we did buy Hoover bags, as you've seen. We're not 100% sure that they are the right ones and that they fit, but we have them.
They kept kind of coming off inside the Hoover, which was making the Hoover then go like, because
I was hoovering the stairs at one point, which isn't on camera, and I thought the Hoover was going to explode.
Yeah.
Actually, you still need to deal with that. You said you would do it later. Okay, look, you just left the room with the Hoover attachment.
But how long did I leave the room for?
A wee while.
Right, okay.
So you went and put it somewhere. It just, obviously, I cut out the bits when you've left the room.
So what am I doing? Right, okay.
So you left and you went and did something.
And I came back with all this stuff.
Yep. No, I think we already put that in the room when we came back from the car.
Yeah, we did. Well, no,
anyway, look at how nice this mattress topper looks. I kind of want one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was putting it on.
Looks comfy.
And it came so compact as well. I didn't think it was actually going to be as cushioned as it was. But it really was.
So I've actually added
this. Sorry, that box there was filled of like nails and hooks, and they were all in their wee separate compartments, and there must have been about 16 wee squares. And I picked it up and it flipped open and everything just went everywhere.
Oh no.
I really wanted to cry in that point.
Yeah, so I've added the mattress topper and the pillows to the wish list so that we can take these into other houses as well. So I think what we're going to do is obviously, this is where it gets a bit dark, but it doesn't stay dark for too long. You can still see what's under the bed and what Danielle's doing and things like that. So I think the plan is, because on the first day that we were here, we spent the first 2 to 3 hours just picking up rubbish in the property. Obviously we didn't get to the bedroom on that day, but the rest of the property we picked up a lot of rubbish. I think there was somewhere between 40 and 45 bags that we managed to bag up, and then that all got taken away. So what we're going to do is we're going to release a members only video, and it is just going to be the rubbish collection time lapse, because the videos are really long when we include the rubbish removal as well. So we thought we'd do that, and that just gives you members a little something back. And I'm hoping to get that done, released for, I don't know when we would need to do a voiceover. We need to do another voiceover. Should we aim for Wednesday? I did want to get it done this week, but we've been too busy.
Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll release the members only video on Wednesday, probably around the same time as this video releases, so about 7 p.m. UK time.
So join those memberships.
Yep. So we'll release that, and then next week, who knows what we'll release. It will be this property. It could be the kitchen, the bathroom, the hallway, the living room. We're not finished with the living room. That's something that we will be finishing when we go back. And we're also not finished with the floors. And I have spent so long on the floors. You'll have seen me in the background of this video on my hands and knees scraping the floors. That has had to be done several times. And again, we're going to get into the who's and whys and stuff in later videos. But yeah, you can see you're having trouble with the hoover on this day.
I was really frustrated. If you asked me what the worst part of the hoover is yet, the clean?
Yeah, you said it was this house just kept giving, so every time you thought you were near the end, you'd find another corner.
But to be honest, it was one of those, do you know when you have a really bad day and it's like something just keeps going wrong no matter how much you try?
Yeah.
That's what I felt about this clean today. And it was that box of nails, the hoover, all the stuff under the bed, and it was like, I know I need to do this and I need to do it properly, but why is the Lord making it so hard for me?
Do you think you felt that way because you were in pain, though? Do you think that just made you less patient?
Maybe, because I came into this clean on that day, we're like, right, okay, let's get this done, and I had a vision in my head of what I was going to do, and the more the day went on, I lost it. Usually it's the other way around for me.
Yeah. Although, it wasn't, so just in case people are wondering, it wasn't the clean itself that actually damaged Danielle's knee. If you remember in the last voiceover, Danielle was chasing a lost dog, and it was the running after the dog that actually hurt her knee because she cannot run.
Yeah, I'm not really meant to put that kind of pressure and impact on my knees. And I was running for this dog. I was saving his life. I'm like, he can't go near those roads. And
she did save him. I have answered in the comments to a few people, but yeah, Jovi made it home safe and sound.
And I hurt my knee in the process.
But you're healing. You're fine now.
Yeah. And to be honest, it's not something that I'm not used to as well. It usually isn't sitting in a great position daily.
I think you should brace it before doing these cleans.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Cool. So it was actually on my own channel. I sorted out my medicine box and cabinet and stuff like a couple of days before we did this clean. And then Danielle hurt her knee, and I was like, I know where I have a knee brace because I've just sorted the box out. So I was able to give her a knee brace.
Because since I moved into my house, I've got a really, really good one that actually cost me a lot of money. And when I moved house in October, I've just not been able to find it. And a part of me is like, did I chuck it out? Because I chucked a lot of stuff away when I was moving.
I just don't feel like you would have thrown out something like that,
I don't think so either.
You'll come across it.
Yeah.
I spent years, so I've moved around a lot. And I have a coin collection that was given to me by my granddad. And when I moved house a few years ago, I could not find the coin collection. And there was a couple of other things missing. And I have, let's just say, dodgy relatives who helped me move. And so I was thinking they had pawned off these belongings for substances. and I was gutted. I was so devastated. But the coin collection actually did turn up years later. So I had it all along. The other items are definitely gone, unfortunately. But the coin, I was just, it wasn't even the value. It's because I don't even think they're worth that much. But it's just the memories. Like, I used to sit with my granddad is still alive, but he has Alzheimer's, unfortunately. So doesn't really.
So what you're trying to tell me is that it might be a few years, but I'll find this knee brace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not necessarily a few years, because you're a lot better at home upkeep than I am.
Yeah, but that's why I'm like, why can't I find it? It's been like 7 months or something.
Is it in that cupboard under your stairs, maybe?
Maybe. I really need to go through that cupboard.
Yeah. That's the only cupboard you have in your house, pretty much.
It's like my doom cupboard.
Yeah. We could do that together. You help me with my Kalex, I'll help you with your doom cupboard.
Are we filming it?
We can, if you want.
The angles might not be that great. To be honest.
Well, we pull everything out and then film.
I can't really do much about that cupboard until I get a shed put up.
See.
And I can't get a shed put up until I get it kind of slabbed and levelled, so I've got a place to put my shed. There's just obstacles.
Yeah.
That's life.
You can see the sun's coming out now. We forgot what it's like to clean in the heat, and like it was really sunny every time we came to this house for some reason. So we were thinking this summer it's going to be a good summer, but it's going to be a struggle to clean.
We were also thinking, like, shall we just, relax in the sunshine a little bit? Because we've actually forgot how good the sun feels because we live in Scotland.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been winter for about 7 months now. And I'm really starting to miss sunshine.
Did you think, so there was a meme that I seen, and it was like, it has the months of the year, and then next to it, like, okay, cold, very cold, cold with rain, and then and it keeps going, and then it's like, I think June it's like, oh, getting warmer, July scorching hot, far too hot, when's the heat going away? Then it's like, okay, heat was but a distant memory, and then cold but commercialised.
But it's not even like July, it's like 2 weeks of July.
I don't even think it's in July usually. I think we get the best weather in May.
See, I think June.
No,
to be honest,
like end of May.
That is a lie. I think July because it's always scorching on my birthday.
See, it's not normally scorching on Kai's birthday, and he's only a week before you. So
I don't think I've ever. In fact, do you know what? There's been one year.
Why are we going to a hot country when we're getting hot weather in Scotland?
But we're going to get hot weather in Scotland, but it's going to be. You're going to come back a lobster.
I am.
You're going to come back so crispy I could probably bite you.
Do you get more than factor 50? Like factor 100? Can I get that?
I don't know, but if you double layer it, is that like factor 100? Do you mean like...
We're at the end.
Okay.
Bit of sidetrack there.
We'll talk more about sun cream in the next video.
So we did start doing the haul on the first visit, so that's why there was a bit of a progress picture there. And then these are the bedroom. But yeah, thanks for joining. And yeah, comment, subscribe, like, all that jazz. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.